If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know we gotta try.
So I am calling on every youth. I am calling on every citizen. Let us unite and save Trinidad and Tobago. For far too long we have been exploited. For far too long we have been neglected. The time has come where we must stand united in order to save our country. Yes, my brothers and my sisters.
Yeah, victor vibes. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know we gotta try. Victor vibes. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know we gotta try.
And let us fight to defend our democracy in this country. Let us stand together.
Yeah. We cry from the ghetto, and the way on them like they don't care about somebody now. Victor vibes. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know we gotta try. Victor vibes. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know we gotta try.
So why we allow this administration to erode our democracy? This is a democratic society, and therefore every creed and race must find an equal place.
Yeah, victor vibes. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know we gotta try. Victor vibes. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know we gotta try.
So I am calling on every youth. I am calling on every citizen. Let us unite and save Trinidad and Tobago. For far too long we have been exploited. For far too long we have been neglected. The time has come where we must stand united in order to save our country. Yes, my brothers and my sisters.
Yeah, victor vibes. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know we gotta try. Victor vibes. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know we gotta try.
And let us fight to defend our democracy in this country. Let us stand together.
Yeah. We cry from the ghetto, and the way on them like they don't care about somebody now. Victor vibes. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know we gotta try. Victor vibes. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know we gotta try.
So why we allow this administration to erode our democracy? This is a democratic society, and therefore every creed and race must find an equal place.
Yeah, victor vibes. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know we gotta try. Victor vibes. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know we gotta try.
So I am calling on every youth. I am calling on every citizen. Let us unite and save Trinidad and Tobago. For far too long we have been exploited. For far too long we have been neglected. The time has come where we must stand united in order to save our country. Yes, my brothers and my sisters.
Yeah, victor vibes. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know we gotta try. Victor vibes. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know we gotta try.
And let us fight to defend our democracy in this country. Let us stand together.
Yeah. We cry from together. And the way on them like they don't care about somebody now. Victor vibes. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know we gotta try. Victor vibes. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know we gotta try.
So why we allow this administration to erode our democracy? This is a democratic society, and therefore every creed and race must find an equal place.
Yeah, Victor vibes. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know we gotta try. Victor vibes. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know we gotta try.
So I am calling on every youth, I am calling on every citizen. Let us unite and save Trinidad and Tobago. For far too long we have been exploited. For far too long we have been neglected. The time has come where we must stand united in order to save our country. Yes, my brothers and my sisters.
Yeah, Victor vibes. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know we gotta try. Victor vibes. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know we gotta try.
And let us fight to defend our democracy in this country. Let us stand together.
Yeah. We cry from together. And the way on them like they don't care about somebody now. Victor vibes. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know we gotta try. Victor vibes. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know we gotta try.
So why we allow this administration to erode our democracy? This is a democratic society, and therefore every creed and race must find an equal place.
Yeah, Victor vibes. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know we gotta try. Victor vibes. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know we gotta try.
So I am calling on every youth, I am calling on every citizen. Let us unite and save Trinidad and Tobago. For far too long we have been exploited. For far too long we have been neglected. The time has come where we must stand united in order to save our country. Yes, my brothers and my sisters.
Yeah, Victor vibes. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When the youth them know we gotta try. Victor vibes. If you want to see a better life.
Blessings to all. Welcome to Facts, Not Fiction. Join me this Thursday the 16th for another Facebook Live at 7:30 p.m. sharp, yes. 7:30 p.m. sharp. Ladies and gentlemen, how long would you allow our Constitution to be eroded? How long? Join me this Thursday. I'm out.
Blessing, good afternoon to all. Blessing, good afternoon to each and every one of you. Those of you who continue to join us on Facts Not Fiction, those who continue to follow this page, this is the page that we will be functioning on from now on. I have reached the threshold of 5,000 on Victor Roberts, and there is about 400-500 friend me requests waiting. So we have created this page that you can follow, and you would be able to see and to get firsthand whatever the party is doing, inclusive of myself. We want to welcome all of you, every single one of you who continue to tune in every Thursday and every Monday, and also on Tuesday and Friday in relation to Douglas politics. We want to thank you. We ask you to continue to stand fast, stay strong, and of course, let us get the job done. So we welcome you locally, internationally, regionally, and every other lead that go with it, okay? So let's get into today's proceeding. The Constitution. The Constitution of Trinidad and Tobago. This is the most serious, the most indictable, the most corrupt, the most amount of deception that we have ever seen in this country in relation to governance and in relation to our Constitution. The Constitution of Trinidad and Tobago, ladies and gentlemen, it is the supreme or the highest law of our land. This Constitution, ladies and gentlemen, was created not only to govern all of us, but also to ensure freedom, equal rights, and justice, if I should put it in that shell. This Constitution, ladies and gentlemen, it is what the President of our Twin Island Republic must adhere to. Our Constitution, ladies and gentlemen, it is also what the Prime Minister of this country, our government ministers, our Chief Justice, our judicial arms of the state, our public officials, and all citizens must adhere to in our land. Our Constitution, ladies and gentlemen, it makes sure that your rights as a citizen of this country are protected. Our Constitution set up institutions to ensure that government and other state officials does not abuse your rights. This is what our Constitution will place at the hem of our democracy. It was placed there for a particular reason, ladies and gentlemen. Within our Constitution, therein lies the rules and regulation of governance. Therein lies the rules and regulation to amend aspects of our Constitution. There is some aspects of our Constitution which needs a 2/3 majority in order to amend those provisions within our Constitution. There are others within our Constitution that need a special majority in order to change other provisions within our Constitution. Within our Constitution, ladies and gentlemen, there is also a 2/3 majority in order to change, to make change inside of there. Our Constitution, ladies and gentlemen, it is something that every citizen must not only cherish, but it is something that every citizen must hold close to their hearts. Close to your heart. Within our Constitution, those that prepared it install or insert these different majorities within that document to avoid what is taking place today. Those majorities within our Constitution, they are also known as the protectors of democracy within that document. They protect us, ladies and gentlemen, from any form of abuse by government. It protects us, ladies and gentlemen, from any form of dictatorial behavior from government officials. It is also placed within that document so that the both section of our democracy, government and opposition, will have to come together to vote on fundamental changes which affects our human rights. These majorities, ladies and gentlemen, is what protect you, is what protect me, it's what protect our youths, it is what will protect our unborn babies. These special majority within our constitution, it is not placed there for some prime minister who sets out on an ego trip to trample upon it. It is placed there so that both sections of our two-party state will have to vote on serious issues which will affect our livelihood going forward. That is the reason for this special majority. It is protection from any heinous behavior, from any crooked prime minister, from any crooked government officials, from those who intend to steal the public money. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we are faced with a serious crisis. Our democracy, it is threatened at this point in time under the Keith Rowley administration. Democracy, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the ways of governing a country. It is based on the idea that everyone in a country should have a say about how the country should run. Everyone. But because our parliament, because of our electoral process, we the citizens, by vote, selects who we believe is best to look after our interests, from community to constituency to government. The special majorities within the Constitution give both sides of voters a vote as to every serious piece of legislation that will come before the parliament. That is where our democracy works. That is where our democracy ensures that fairness, justice, and equality is adhered to. Ladies and gentlemen, we are presently at a junction that would change or destroy our way of freedom if you, the people, remain dumb to what is happening. But what is so important about our Constitution? Let me read something for you. Our Constitution, it is important for all of us to appreciate that our constituencies, all of our constituencies, all of our people, every single individual have a part in decision making what is happening in our country. Our Constitution set out the structure for our democratic nation and ensures that its fundamental rules are followed by citizens and government alike. It is the basis for what is sometimes called the rule of law, where everyone follow established and recognized rules rather than yielding to arbitrary or irrational. You know, it have some words that just flip my tongue. This is one of them. Irrational action and decision. If there were no rules of law, there would be anarchy, ladies and gentlemen. Anarchy. I want to get back to our word here, arbitrary. You know what this word signifies? This word signifies it is a ruling body, unrestrained and autocratic in the use of authority. This word autocratic represents an individual who chooses to possess absolute power. Absolute power. Ladies and gentlemen, irrational behavior, a behavior that we continue to experience, a behavior that is not becoming of a prime minister. In the parliament this week, I saw the prime minister of this country blatantly abuse his power, blatantly telling a member of the opposition, why you don't sit down, as though the parliament belongs to him. As though the parliament belongs to him. We have seen, ladies and gentlemen, a behavior by a prime minister that we have never experienced from since 1956. We have never seen this type of abuse of our Constitution. The Prime Minister and the Attorney General, they has now reduced our Parliament, our Constitution, to a simple majority goes. a simple majority goes. Whatever they decide is what going to happen. This Prime Minister, ladies and gentlemen, this Prime Minister has now taken a position to rule this country by his decree. This Prime Minister has now taken a position to reject the checks and balance that was placed within our constitution for good governance. When you look at legislation that require a 3/5 majority or a 2/3 majority, and this government continue to flaunt their simple majority, watering every piece of legislation, from the procurement legislation come right back they mash up, they destroy, they do what they please, they say what they want, they tell the opposition how to talk, when to talk, and when not to talk. And we, as a bunch of citizens in this country, we have absolutely nothing to say. Well, I want to suggest to you here tonight, that we might as well tear up and destroy that constitution, because when you allow a party to use, to abuse, and to suspend the constitution, not by a state of emergency, but by the behavior of Colum Inbert, Keith Rowley, and Faris Alwari, when you allow individuals to do as they please in our parliament, then you and I, we are equally to blame for what is taking place in our country. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you here tonight that we cannot sit idly by and allow a dictator to rule this country. We cannot sit idly by, ladies and gentlemen, and allow a prime minister to suspend our constitution to satisfy his own ego and to stay in power as long as he so chooses. We cannot sit idly by and see a prime minister, ladies and gentlemen, who have no respect for law and order, who have no respect for his citizens, who have no respect for the little children. If a prime minister doesn't have respect for this constitution, then he does not have respect for himself. How could you have respect for yourself when you do not respect what should govern all of us? And everybody is silent. From the Chamber of Commerce, every NGO, every village council, every legal institution, from the law association right back, they are silent. They are dumb. Nothing to say. Ladies and gentlemen, The judiciary have a responsibility. The judges and the magistrates, they interpret, they decide on law matters. They are an independent mind. But let me tell you something. They must also ensure that the government of this country follow the law and abide by the law, uphold the law, make decisions on law. Every decision that is made within the parliament, it must be guided according to the supreme law of this land, which is our constitution. I cannot understand. I cannot believe what I am seeing in this Trinidad and Tobago. I am seeing a government who cares about nothing, about nobody. I've seen a government who care about those who finance them. I have seen a government who rent themselves out of the public purse. I have seen a government who will do anything to milk every cent out of you, and you are blinded. You ain't even understand why Keith Rowley government calling, bring in all the money in the country, bring it in, we're going and change it. You think Keith Rowley and his government went to change the money because they want to bring some kind of pretty notes? You think they went to change the money because they find the money in your possession it's old? They bring in the money to know exactly who in this country have money and who exactly they will be going after. They bring in this money, ladies and gentlemen. You will hear the Prime Minister said that he was amazed to see some of the figures. They know exactly who have, and they intend to touch it. The sad thing about that is, they are also going to touch who don't have. You know why? Because it always have people like Colum Burt who always wants to set up some development. It always have people like Alwari who will always want to rent some building somewhere. It will always have people like this threesome. This is the greatest threesome that you are experiencing in this country. You see this threesome? Boy, when this threesome finished with you, who was dancing right foot, left foot, they will leave you without any feet. Without any feet. Ladies and gentlemen, we go warm this thing up just now, you know, but this is serious business. Ladies and gentlemen, how come you as citizens are so dumb in relation to what is taking place. Nobody talking. Everybody mouth closed. What is going on? Everybody waiting for Jesus to come and deliver them. Well, if all you're waiting for Jesus to come to deliver all you better understand that deliverance does come with your action. Let me break it down further. When you're hungry, just sit down and keep saying, I'm hungry. I'm hungry. And I believe that some of you believe that if all you say, all you're hungry long enough, all your belly will be filled. But for those right thinking citizens, when you're hungry and that belly start to cry and bawl, what you do? You doesn't go and prepare something to eat if you have, or buy something to eat, or ask somebody for something to eat. It requires an action. And if you sit idly by and say nothing in relation to the destruction and the erosion of our democracy and our constitution, you will pay the price. You will pay the price. And believe you me, this price is a heavy price. Our constitution, it is something that we must safeguard, we must protect. This PNM government, they don't care about law and order. They don't care about this document. This document means nothing to them. Because if this document meant something to them people would have followed this document. We have had government go and come from 56. And all the government except the Keith Rowley administration protect the Constitution. Some tested the Constitution, but they protect the Constitution. It is the first time we are experiencing where our government is flaunting and destroying the rights of citizens in this country, and people say nothing. Nothing. But we will develop this as we go along. So fasten your seatbelts. Pull your sliding window. And of course, allow everyone to be seated, because the plane is about to take off. I said to you earlier on, if you have never listened to any of my live, listen to this one. And of course, I meant everything that I said about the Constitution. But we must move on now. Ladies and gentlemen, Trinidad and Tobago, I want to have a discussion with the man on the street, with those in the ghettos, with the gangsters, with the drug pushers, with every citizen. This conversation is for you. I want to start by telling you, ladies and gentlemen, that I want to ask the Prime Minister of this country, Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, a few questions. Information coming to me, Keith, that There is a massive sheep farm in Tobago. Nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. But I want to ask you, Keith Rowley, how much are your African brothers or sisters you have working there in Tobago on that sheep farm? I want to ask you, if you doesn't have any of the people that you so say you care about working on that sheep farm, I want to ask you, why not? Because remember, this is facts, not fiction. Keith Rowley, I want to ask you, how many Venezuelans, men and women, that is working on that farm? If you have any, I don't know. I don't know. I am asking why, or if you have any or your African people working on your farm in Tobago, and if not, why not? And I'm also asking, if you have Venezuelans working on your farm, I am asking you to tell us how many. Trinidad and Tobago, let me tell you something that all you in understand and that all you're playing with. I want to ask Keith Rowley, if that sheep farm is a farm that is living better than the citizens who he governed in this country. I want to ask Keith Rowley, if that farm have better accommodations for those animals than the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. I want to ask Keith Rowley, if that farm is a air-conditioned farm where your animals is living in AC better than the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. I want to ask you, Keith, if your animals does have proper diet, better diet than the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. I want to ask you, Keith, if you have sent any hampers for those sheep that you have in Tobago mining. That is what I want to ask you. You see, I also want to ask that if it's taxpayers' money responsible for that sheep farm, I want to ask that question. And I want to tell you people in Trinidad and Tobago something. I want to tell you that something is wrong with you. Because if animals could eat 3 and 4 times a day under these conditions, and you as a human being cannot eat, and you support this Keith Rowley administration, something wrong with you. I want to tell you that if Keith Rowley animals in Tobago have AC, shelter, it have made combing the hair, trimming them when they need trimming, watering them, providing all sorts of amenities and care for these animals, and you in Trinidad and Tobago who support this PNM, you're suffering like a dog, then something is wrong with you. Something has to be wrong with you. I want to tell you something. I want to tell you how sick people is in this country. There was a protest down at the Palo Seco Secondary School. Within that protest, it is a situation that I raise in relation to a bridge that takes pedestrian, likewise vehicles, to and fro from the school. It also takes trucks and so on down to the oil sector to the back. And within this little protest, I was summoned. And when I was summoned to the protest, you would believe, ladies and gentlemen, that some of these same individuals that you see crying and saying, fix we bridge now, we want we bridge now, or whatever they're saying, you know that there were other parents who were saying, no, don't bring Victor Roberts down here. Victor Roberts does make we government look bad. We are here to humbly ask our Prime Minister to fix our bridge, please. Victor Roberts does make the government look bad, and we are not here to make the government look bad. We are here to ask the Prime Minister to fix our bridge, please. Well, Prime Minister, I will continue to ask you to fix the people bridge, please. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the problem in Trinidad and Tobago. You could imagine a bridge that could cause these same people, children, to lose their life. They will rather not embarrass or expose the government, because that is them party. So their party comes before the livelihood of their children. Their party comes before the safety of their children. The party comes before the safety of themselves. The party comes before everything. So some of these, not all, some of these individuals who bring forth a child from their belly, from their womb, they will rather protect the PNM government than protect the interests of their children's life. What type of wicked behavior and thinking is that from human beings? Let me tell you something. I don't afraid to talk, you know. I don't afraid to talk. I don't get paid to talk. Nobody pays me to talk. All that I do it over me, over this heart inside this body. All that I do. Nobody do have to give me nothing to keep no life, you know. Nobody do have to pay me a cent to do what I have to do and what I will continue to do as a citizen of this country. Nobody. Because when I stand for those who think rightly. When I stand for those in the ghetto. When I stand for those who cannot speak. When I stand for justice. When I speak for freedom. And I will continue to speak for justice, freedom, and equality in this country as long as God permit me to speak. When you look at all the constituencies that this Rowley administration control, It is the same behavior and the same pattern. These people rather suffer. These people rather live on the streets. These people rather live begging and lodging. These people rather live looking for handouts than to stand up against a party that oppresses them. Yassin Abubakar jumped out and talked a couple Fridays ago. And social media hot. Oh Lord, Abu go deal with them for we. Abu go this and Abu go that and Abu the other. Pack of idiots. Pack of idiots. You believe that Abu Bakr is stupid? You believe that Abu Bakr has no sense? Well, you stay there and believe that. Or you stay there and believe that. Look for somebody to make a sacrifice for all you. Or you stay right there and believe that. God should have made some of you with no legs. No legs, because all you stand up for nothing. All you always depend on somebody to stand up for all you. And when you're dependent on somebody to stand up for all you will run into problems. All the man who don't want to stand up, all they just run into problems. Real problems, because somebody go be standing up for all you. All you feel this thing is joke. All you rather suffer than stand against a party that oppress all you. Watching all the communities, east, west, and north and south, people suffering. Today I want to make a call. I want to call all the gangsters. I want to call all the gunmen in this country who have illegal guns to let you know that your brother is not your enemy. I want to call all of you drug pushers. I want to let you know that your next brother with same color like you is not your enemy. I want to tell you that it's about time that you recognize that you were always pointing in the wrong direction. You was always pointing your guns. You kill your black brother for coming on a street. You kill your black brother for singing a song. You kill your black brother because he's selling drugs. Where is your turf? Can't you not see that you and your brother, you are not the enemy? All that, and you ain't understand yet that all of it is hustlers. The man who sell down the road, the man who sell up the road, all of it is hustlers. What all you need to find out is why we are in that condition. Why you have to sell drugs to survive. Why you have to rob to survive. Why you have to steal to survive. Why you shoot each other to survive. That is the fundamental basis that you need to understand. You need to understand your condition. You need to understand how you reach at this junction. Guns will not help you. Because the police will always have more guns than you. The government will always put more money in national security to get rid of you. You will win a battle today and you will lose the war tomorrow. Guns is not the answer. You must understand how and why you are in that condition. The government will always buy ammunition to get rid of you. And they will kill you today. Someone will rise up tomorrow. They will kill him next week. You cannot win the battle. Because the battle in this country is not about guns. The battle in this country is not about you. The battle in this country is about the elites. And until you understand that your brother is not your enemy, is until you will remain in that condition. But there is a remedy. You need to go back and see how all this started. All this started, ladies and gentlemen, because political parties from 56 straight up to 86 never had you, the poor black boy, in mind. They never had you in mind. And that is why they have never provided mass opportunities for your life to turn out at a different angle. They keep you suppressed. They keep you under pressure. They select some chosen few who they believe have the authority over you. And they are the ones that they would have given some contract and some type of employment. It is a slave mentality. And when they choose out that individual, and that individual doesn't stand to what they want him to do, then the elite team will come out and take him out of the map. That is policies that the PNM put in place. The PNM put policies in place to keep you right where you are. And you must now rise above what they expect you to do. You must rise above all the ills and the oppression and suppression that they place in these communities to ensure that you remain in that condition. We all must unite, every citizen. I don't care who you are. We must unite to change this country. We must unite to change those policies. We must unite to bring opportunity to save our young black children in this country. We must bring opportunities in this country where every creed and race must find that equal place. For far too long, we sing it, but we never experience it. We have never experienced equity equality under this PNM government. This PNM government, it's a government that will keep you where you are. They will take every single thing that they could take from you. How long would our parents cry? This country is a country that is filled not only with blood, but it's filled with tears. Mothers cry. Children, babies cry. Because our fathers are gone. Because the policies that are in place will force you to go into a particular direction. And until you change the policy maker, is until you will remain in that condition. This is not a case where anybody can save you. This is a case where all of us must save ourselves from this crooked government. Nobody will be able to save you. This is a job that we must do. We must strengthen our communities with love. We must strengthen our communities with understanding. We must allow our communities to understand that we are not the enemy. The enemy dressed up in jacket and tie, and they say to you, we care. We deliver because we care. The enemy will say to you that we red and we ready, but we black like pitch. Who sing that song? Black like a tar. Who sing that? Listen, ladies and gentlemen, youths, boys and girls, all ghetto leaders, I am putting a challenge out to you today. I am putting a challenge out to you today. And that challenge that I'm putting out to every gang leader in this country is a challenge whereby we will have the greatest boxing competition in this country. The greatest boxing competition. And this competition must only have heavyweights. We don't have time for light and featherweight in this competition. I am calling on you. But the rules of engagement in this boxing competition, it must be the Constitution of Trinidad and Tobago. The rules in this boxing tournament is that we will fight and we will knock out poverty. We will fight and we will knock out nepotism. We will fight and we will knock out every aspect of oppression in our community. We must fight and knock the PNM out. That is the challenge. Let us fight together and save this country. You can do it. How long would you live in hiding? How long would you live? Cannot go and check your brother, your friend, your neighbor on the next street. A street where you and I used to eat and drink. Because of oppression and a lack of policies, now we are enemy. We used to once eat in the same plate in all these communities. But we have allowed this PNM government to send us in separate directions where we will kill each other while they benefit from the resources of this country. Just imagine the Prime Minister have some sheep and probably some goat living better than you. Some sheep in better accommodation than you. A sheep who's sleeping in cold breeze while you outside sharing hot lead. This is what I am asking you to change, my people. This is what I am asking you to stand against and unite. We must unite as champions. We must win this victory, not only for ourselves. I am talking a language that you will understand. I have suffered just as you. I have passed through what you probably know passing through. I understand why or what it means to be without a meal. I understand when that belly cry, and it cry until it cramp because it needs something inside. I understand. I have been there. I walked through the valley of the shadow of death. I understand it. And I am telling you that we can make a difference in society. It matters not what they think or what they say. We can fix the problem. The government doesn't have the answer to your problem. You know why? Because they throw the document with the answer behind the polling station. You feel that this PNM government don't know the answer? I listened to the Minister of National Security, Hines, speaking like some European boy who spent time in some cathedral somewhere out in Rome, probably acting as an altar boy. You think Hines understand and feel the pain that you feel in those communities? You feel Hines understand the agony that you go through in those communities? You feel Keith Rowley care about the pain, the agony that you feel? When you see a prime minister could lick up every aspect of the poor man meal, every aspect of the poor man meal, Keith Rowley lick it up, close it down, shut it down, get rid of it. And today you are dependent on a hamper service. The citizens of this country, this government, they have not brought you to the point where you are like a bird. You have to open your mouth and wait until they decide to drop some scrums inside of it. And that is what you are satisfied with. That is what you satisfied with. While they reap the benefit of the resources in this country, are taking a break. Are coming right back.
EBC says that the Goodwood seat has 4,309 voters, but Shamfa says
nobody lives there.
EBC says that the Bell Garden East seat has 3,857 voters, but Shamfa says
nobody lives there.
Whoa! Look at people!
Nobody lives there.
Roaming Shamfa thinks these people are nobody.
How can you be satisfied when you see a government that continues to benefit from the resources of this country, a matter of fact, benefit from your resources? While you live in that condition, they continue to have everything tax-free. Free car, free gasoline, free this, free that. They have credit cards that they use, and the money that has been used on those cards, it's your taxpayer dollar. They bring in everything duty free. But anything that you bring in this country, you have to pay duty. You telling me about our government? You pay taxes on the road. You pay 5% fuel tax. And now they want to bring property tax. Added to that, they want to add a criminal record. If you doesn't submit by the end of next month. All that, when they took away, they remove all your employment. They take everything away. And now they want to take away your property. They want to take away the little 2x4 that you are living in. Something that you cherish, that you call your home. They intend to invade that. That is how evil and wicked this administration will continue to be. You have suffered tremendously in this country. While one section of them reap the benefit in this country, you have nothing. I watch the mosque, the church, the mandir, all of them who collect the $300,000 and $400,000 at different intervals as grant, and you cannot even collect your little $1,500. Everybody go on silent. Everybody get dumb. Nobody talking. You know why? Because of the pandemic. They are saying, if we talk, we have nothing to get. And that is the sad reality of this country. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I am asking every citizen in this country, every youth, all of you who don't vote, I am asking you to be prepared to vote. Be prepared to vote to save your future as a youth in this country. Don't study mommy and daddy. Don't study mama and dada. When they tell your son, when you reach in the booth, put the X by the balize. Mommy and daddy grew up suffering. And what a pity. It appears to be like mommy and daddy want you to go through the same suffering that they went through under this PNM government. Rise above mommy and daddy. When you reach the age of 18, you are no longer under mommy and daddy care. When you reach the age of 18, if you pelt a stone and break a glass, you either pay for it or you go to prison for it. It's not mommy or daddy going to prison for you. You are your own man and your own woman at the age of 18, and therefore you are required to make these decisions to save yourself, to save your children, save your country from this monstrous government that they call the PNM. I want you, as a wrap-up, I want you to keep in your mind that there is some sheep in Tobago that is living better than you. They don't have to worry about going and look for a hamper. They don't have to worry about paying a light bill. They don't have to worry about paying property tax. They don't have to worry about paying water rate. They don't have to worry about feeling hot when the sun hot, because they are living in the cool. That is the type of government that you support. A government that look after themselves. A government that more they have is more they want. A government that manipulates the electoral process. Even in Tobago, they are going to damage. They are going to cheat. They are going to thief. They are going to ensure that they stay in power. And I want to tell you something. Trinidad and Tobago, whatever happens here will affect you there, and whatever happened there will affect us here, and therefore we must stand united as one twin island country to fight the evil PNM, to fight against nepotism, to fight against cronyism, to fight against this dictatorship, to fight for our rights, to defend our constitution, to stand in the gap to ensure that our children have a future in this country. Ladies and gentlemen, I am calling on Tobago, I am calling on Trinidad, I am calling on every citizen to unite, to stand, to fight and ensure the victory for the people of this country by singing with one voice, call election now, call election now. I'm out.
Let us stand together.
Yeah. We cry from the ghetto, and the way on them like they don't care about nobody now. Victor vibes. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When you use them, no, we gotta try. Victor vibes. If you want to see a better life, yeah, share the light. When you use them, no, we gotta try.
So why we allow this administration to erode our democracy? This is a democratic society, and therefore every creed and race must find an equal place.
Yeah.